It's not just lecturers who prey on students at Fort Hare. 26-year-old Nikiwe Mhambi says she was raped by an SRC president in 2013.
Apparently, I'm not the only girl our rape. Like, he does that to everyone. And president, president, and powers like Zalape University.
And instead of receiving help and support from the university, she says her belongings were chucked out of her room and she was told to leave. She returned several years later to finish her studies and is still trying to pursue the case, both criminally and with the university.
Why did you come back to the university?
Because, I wanted to find a closure. I wanted to see what is land.
We asked Fort Hare Vice-Chancellor Professor Sakela Buhlungu whether there is a culture of sexual violence at his university.
It's a South African phenomenon. We are a microcosm of the country. Last year we had a Senate meeting. That Senate meeting recorded that we have an emergency, that issues of sexual harassment and gender-based violence at Fort Hare constitute an emergency.
A gender-based violence task team was set up to draft a sexual harassment policy.
So yes, that is the committee that's working on it now.
But there is still no policy.
There's still no policy. Absolutely no policy. I've come to learn that sometimes policy on its own, without a change in values, without a change in the thinking in an institution, does not go far enough. And I will say this, and I can say this about other facets of this university, that even where you have policy, that's only half the journey. But
it's a good place to start.
It's a good place to start. We're onto it now.
The university also doesn't have a policy that governs relationships between lecturers and students. Why not?
It's not unique to Fort Hare. It's everywhere. It is everywhere.
It should be stopped here.
It should be. We're going to stop it here. We're going to stop it here.
Professor Buhlungu, who was appointed in 2017, says he's taking stern steps against perpetrators of sexual violence.
In a context where cases of rape and sexual harassment disappeared into thin air, in a context where previously those cases disappeared, we've now taken people before disciplinary committees.
We asked about Nikiwe's attacker, the former SRC president alleged to be a serial rapist.
We pulled that student before a disciplinary committee. That case is ongoing. It's also in the court. We've now had complaints from the past of cases against the same person that were quashed for reasons that are only known to those who were around.
He says Phakama Nkumbelo's attacker escaped before he could be punished.
By a few days, by the skin of his teeth, he escaped. He resigned on the 19th of October.
But why did it take so long for the university to take action in Phakama's case, in action that ultimately exposed Kumbelo?
That point is well taken. I think it could have been dealt with differently.
Why wasn't he suspended? I know it could have been dealt with differently, but why wasn't it dealt with differently? Why wasn't he suspended? He was a danger to students.
The initial steps of disciplining staff in particular happens at their lowest unit. First the department and then the faculty. I think that they did not grasp the kind of the gravity and the urgency of the matter.
If he has moved on to another university, he could potentially do this to other students there.
Right.
He was found guilty here.
Right.
Where do you think your responsibility lies in sensitizing other universities about this judgment and this finding and this report?
There's a lot of circulation of personnel amongst universities. And I'm not just talking lecturers, I'm talking about administrators and senior people. If the university employing that person doesn't do their due diligence, they have an obligation too.
So it's out of your hands is basically what you're saying.
In part only. Let me make an example. I'm made to believe, and I'm not sure about the facts or veracity of this. I'm made to believe that the lecturer we're talking about was from another university.
Rhodes, and he did allegedly
The same thing. And in Rhodes and us, we're less than 150 kilometers apart.
But there was no communication.
There was no
about
communication.
this person.
Exactly. And we haven't developed a code of ethical behavior amongst ourselves. We have a University of South Africa, a body of vice chancellors. One of the things that we need to develop now, especially around the matters of gender-based violence, is to have a code of ethical behavior that will govern this question about staff moving around.
What about an offenders list? His name should be up there for all the universities to see.
Fine,
this
fine.
is his history.
If USAF feels that they want a blacklist, an offenders list, if they decide that's the best way, that's fine.
Did you confront Rhodes about his previous behavior at their university and why they did not let you know?
I haven't yet.
Why not?
I suppose... no, I haven't. Yeah.
And what about putting pressure on the police to act?
Your report says he's guilty of sexual assault. He should be arrested. Both his victims have open cases. He should be arrested.
Open cases with the police? Not that much. That I haven't been aware of. I know about the reporting of the cases internally. That much I know.
But you know that a crime was committed at your university.
Yes.
So you should be telling the police about it.
I would like to get advice on that one.
After our interview with the Vice-Chancellor, we were alerted that another law professor dismissed by Wits for sexual harassment in January 2017 was hired by Fort Hare 6 months later. Fort Hare fired him following our inquiry last week, confirming the need for more stringent vetting of academics to reduce the recycling of serial abusers. That's all from us this week. Please do give us your feedback. Our Twitter handle is @checkpoint_ENCA and our email address checkpoint@enca.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Ngepile Mabuse.